More than 20,000 cruise tourists visited the country yesterday, even as there are growing fears about the new strain of COVID-19, Omicron. But stakeholders are insisting that the country's protocols will prevent any mass outbreak among the visitors.
Travel and tourism are again under threat as more countries move to reimpose restrictions in light of the new COVID-19 variant, Omicron. The United Nations World Tourism Organization has already estimated losses in the sector globally to be around $1.6 trillion. With Omicron now a concern, that figure could further increase by the end of the year. Still, many are eager to vacation. On Wednesday, Jamaica welcomed 25,000 cruise tourists in Montego Bay on board the Carnival cruise line. William Tatham is the Vice President of Cruise Shipping and Marina Operations of the Port Authority of Jamaica. He insists the COVID protocols in place are solid.
What we've realized in the whole process is that it's all about control, and it's being able to ensure that we can deliver locations and attractions and ground transportation and everything in a way that protects the guests and the locals at the same time. And that's been what's been our guidance throughout this process.
All of the country's ports are now open for business, which spells good news for owners of attractions who were hit hard during the initial stages of the pandemic.
COVID is no longer the total unknown coming at you. And so far, I believe that we are going to be able to approach this with a more of a steady response, a less of a panic response. We're in the know as to what to expect. The science as to how it's going to affect us different than the other variants is not completely, everybody doesn't understand that fully yet. But I do not feel we're going to have the same reaction and slowdown we did the first time. So
we are relying on the corridor, the protocols of the corridor, and we're working very hard along with the Ministry of Health right now to work through the finer details of just ensuring that we can have the cruise ship passengers like any other passenger or locals, once they are on the corridor and operating within the COVID resilient certified operators, that they can just be released into the corridor and let the corridor work.
But there is concern that not all stakeholders will get a piece of the pie. That was demonstrated recently with CME craft vendors in Ocho Rios complaining that they are being shunned. But according to officials, due to the threat of COVID-19, it cannot be business as usual. As such, persons wanting to facilitate visitors must go through a process.
We've been using a restricted sense, so they are in a sense a guest bubble where there are set locations that have been worked out between the Tourism Product Development Company and the Ministry of Health as to which are COVID compliant, meet all the restrictions, etc., and meet their approval. And then what we do is we put that on the list, and that's both goes to the cruise lines for their pre-booked tours, as well as for what we have as a restricted freelance. So our taxi drivers can actually take them to these locations, put together their own kind of tour as long as it covers those locations.
Shamela Pullen, TVJ News.